In this listening video, we are going to... oh dear, idiot. Hello, and welcome to another IELTS listening video with Traveller's Guide IELTS. Today, we are doing some IELTS listening practice. This will be suitable for the general training test and the academic test, because both forms of the IELTS test use the same listening and speaking material. In this video, we are going to start by looking at some vocabulary that we might need, and then we're going to go through some practice listening pieces. We'll look at the questions and the answers. First of all, it's worth noting that the IELTS test has 4 sections. Some are multiple choice questions, some are fill in the blanks. Spelling is important, so if you spell the word wrongly, you will not get the point. However, capital letters are not important, so you could write all of your answers completely in capitals or all in lowercase, both are okay. Spelling is important. Make sure as well that you use the correct word class. So if the answer is a noun, don't write the verb form of the word, for example, because that won't make sense in the answer. So let's go through some of the vocabulary that will be coming up in the practice test we're going to do. Number 1, we have author. This word means a writer, a person who writes a book, an article, or a document. It can also be used as a verb to write something, but it's mostly used as a noun. For example, you might say, Liu Cixin is my favourite author. Number 2, runner-up. This is what we call someone who has come second in a race or a competition. Also known as the silver medalist, perhaps, in this picture. And the example, you could say that Arsenal finished runners-up in the Premier League. That means they came second. Species, number 3. Species is a group of similar animals or plants capable of breeding. Notice that the word species can be singular or plural. You can have 1 species or you can have 10 species. In the picture we can see giraffes. Did you know that there were 7 different species of giraffes? Number 4, guidelines. This is a noun which means a set of rules or instructions that someone must follow. For example, the government has issued new guidelines for paying tax. Number 5, published. This could be an adjective or a verb, and it describes a book or an article which is printed or made available online. For example, Oliver Twist is a famous book which was published in 1838. Number 6, petition. Petition. This is where you get people to sign their name on something that you feel strongly about, which is then taken perhaps to the government to ask for a change of something. The example says, will you sign my petition against rising prices? Extinction. Extinction, a noun. This is a process of a species of plants or animals dying out. Several bird species are on the brink of extinction. In the picture we can see some dinosaurs which are now extinct. 8, submit. Submit. This is a verb which has 2 different meanings. It can mean to hand in a piece of work for marking. So you might submit your essay to be marked if you're at university. It can also mean to quit, to give up, or to concede. Number 9, workshop. A workshop is a small study group or a seminar focusing on one specific aspect. For example, in the picture we can see that they're having a workshop on some topic. They're working together, looking at something, trying to work something out as a team. And number 10, we have an adverb, perfectly. Perfectly. To do something in a way that could not be better. Flawlessly, excellently, or to perfection. For example, in the picture we can see 4 different boiled eggs. Which one do you think is cooked perfectly? For me, I would probably go with egg number 3. That's just my personal preference. Right, so we are now going to move on to section 1 of a listening test. Now, I have highlighted the phrase, write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. So this is critical. If you write more than 2 words, so if you write 3 words, that cannot be correct, and so you will not get the point, unless one of those words is a number. Okay, so you could write 2 words, you could write 2 words and a number, you could write a number, you could write 1 word and a number, or 1 word only, but any more than 2 words and or a number will be wrong. There is usually an example answer at the start of section 1 only, and in this case it already says here that the cost of entry is going to be £5. After that, though, we need to write the answers 1 to 6. So the length of the story, approximately, and then our answer to question 1. So for this one, we know how long must the story be, length, how long. So how would you measure a story? Approximately, it could be number of pages, number of words. It's not going to be a length in meters and centimeters. It's probably not going to be a length in time. So different ways of measuring things. And question 2, story must include a what? So include, there must be something in the story. Okay, number 3 is asking for the minimum age. Notice that minimum means lowest possible or lowest allowed. Then number 4, last entry date. First of what? Could it be the first of a certain month? Or it could be the first week in July? I don't know. First something. Then there's a web address to fill in, www.something.com. For web addresses and surnames, things like that, they often spell it out, so listen carefully. Remember, you will only hear everything once. And then number 6, it says, don't something the story to the organisers. Right. For this to make sense, number 6 must be a verb, surely. Don't do something the story to the organisers. Right, let's listen, write down your answers, and we'll go over them afterwards.
Good morning, Dave speaking.
Oh, hi. I'm phoning about a short story competition. I saw an advert in a magazine, and I was just calling to get some details.
Yes, certainly. I'm the competition organiser, so I should be able to help. What kind of details are you looking for?
Well, does it cost anything to enter?
Yes, there's an entry fee of £5.
Okay, that should be fine. It's a short story competition, so how many words is that?
Well, we want to give people a reasonable amount of freedom, but the guidelines are around 3,000 words.
Oh, that sounds quite a lot.
Well, it's not as much as it used to be. We did have a limit of 5,000 words, but some people thought that was too many. So this year we've reduced it.
Right. And does the story need to be about anything in particular?
No, you can write about any topic you like. But the main point of the competition is that it has to have a surprise ending.
Oh, I see. That sounds interesting. I don't think I've ever written a story like that before.
Yes, it's something we've introduced for this year's competition.
Right. I'm 18. Is there any age limit?
Yes, you need to be 16 or over. So if you're 18, that's fine.
Great. So you have the competition once a year, is that right?
Yes, we start advertising in January, and the competition takes up a lot of the year. We give people a few months to write their story, and then it takes quite a long time to judge all the entries and to announce the winners.
I see. So, when is the closing date for the competition? It's already April. I hope I'm not too late.
No, you've still got plenty of time. You need to submit your entry by the 1st of August. After then, it will be too late. Although you can always enter next year's competition.
Okay, good. So, how do I enter?
Well, we have a website, and the best way to enter is to complete the entry form online. We also have more details of the competition on the site. Shall I give you the web address?
Yes, please.
OK, it's www.comp4ss.com. And that's the number 4, not the word 4.
Okay, thanks. I've got that. So, I can complete the entry form online, but how do I send the story? Do I print it out and send it to you?
Well, you may want to print the story out so you can review it, but don't post it to us. When you've finished your story, you will need to email it to us. The email address is on the website I gave you.
Okay, that's fine.
Right, let's have a look at the answers to this section then. So, she asked, how many words is that? And he said around 3,000 words. Notice there's the word guidelines that we learned before. Later on, he mentions 5,000 words and says we've reduced it. So that is a red herring trying to catch you out. 3,000 words is the correct answer. Then we said, so the question was, it must include something. Has to have means must include, and it has to have a surprise ending. So those are the two words we need for that one, surprise ending. Then she said she's 18. Is there an age limit? And he said you need to be 16 or over. Remember, it said minimum age, so 16 lower than 18, that's the minimum age, 16. Then when do we need to submit your entry? So she said the word April, which is trying to fool you. The correct answer was going to be August. Now, if you wrote 1st August is fine, 1st of August, also okay. You can include the of if you want, that's fine. Then we went on to the website address. So now the confusing part here is that the website address is with .com, but the bit we need starts with .com. So you'd be forgiven for thinking that was actually the ending of it, but hopefully we managed to get that right. COMP4SS. So it looks like the word compass, but the A has been replaced by a 4. And he also said make sure you use the number 4, not the word 4. Then for the last question in this section, the correct answer we're looking for is post. So that's when you send something, the hard copy on paper by post. We did have the word send in there, which is a verb, but that doesn't really make sense. It wouldn't be don't send it to us, because you do send it, but by email. You don't send it by post. So the correct answer we're looking for is post. Let's have a look at that. So 1, 3,000 words. 2, surprise ending. 3, 16, whether it's the number 16 or the word 16, both are okay. 4, August or of August. 5, COMP4SS. And 6, post. We don't want to write the words don't for number 6 because that's already there before the number. Okay, let's move on to the next part. So for 7, 8, 9 and 10, here again it says no more than 2 words. Okay, so it could be 1 word, could be 2 words. No more than that. The competition is judged by what or who? This could be a person or a group of people. Then number 8, the top 5 stories will be available when or where. Then the top story will be chosen by the something. Now number 9 has got to be a noun because we've got the before. So that's a bit of a clue. Make sure that your answer fits grammatically. And number 10, the first prize is a place at the writer's workshop in what? Now this could be in a place, or it could be in a month, or in a year. Okay, let's listen and write your answers for these.
Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Can you tell me a bit about how the competition is judged and what the prizes are?
Yes, of course. Well, once we have all the entries, I send them to all the judges. Our competition is quite popular, so we are lucky to be able to use famous authors who are very interested in the competition.
That's fantastic. It's great to know that someone famous will be reading my story.
Yes, that's right. It takes them quite a while to read through the entries, but eventually they decide on the top 5 stories.
I see. And what happens then?
Well, they will be published online so everyone can read them. They will not be in any order at this point. They will just be the 5 stories that the judges think are the best.
And do all the top 5 stories get prizes?
No, it's just the top story and the runner-up.
So how is the top story decided?
Well, once the top 5 stories are available, it will be the public who will vote for their favourite story.
Right, I see. So I need to get all my friends to vote for me then?
Yes, that's a good idea.
And what is the prize?
Well, the runner-up gets a prize of £300. But the winner gets a trip to Spain to attend a workshop for writers.
Wow, that's brilliant. I'd better get writing straight away.
Yes. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, let's have a look at these answers then. So, who's it going to be judged by? Here it says the judges, so we'll listen out for that. And then it says that we use famous authors. There's that word that we learned earlier on, authors, another word for writers. So famous authors is the answer we need there. Next one, where are they available? Well, they will be published online. So the answer we need for this one is online. Notice we had a mention of the runner-up here, which remember means the person who comes in second place. But the next answer we need is the public. So it's chosen, the winner is chosen by the public. And then what's the prize? The runner-up gets a prize of £300. Now, this is a wrong answer that we need to be aware of. So don't put that because it said first prize. So first prize is the winner, runner-up is second place. The winner gets a trip to Spain to attend the workshop. So the correct answer for that one was Spain. Let's have a look here. Number 7, famous authors. Number 8, online. Number 9, public. And number 10, Spain. I have written Spain with a capital S, just because that's the correct way to do it. But remember, in the actual test, spelling is important. Capital letters are not important in this case. We'll now move on to section 2 of the listening test. And questions 11 to 17. Here are the questions. We need to write no more than 3 words for each answer. Okay, so now we can have 1 word, 2 words, or 3 words. No more than that. Question 11. What was the Sea Life Centre previously called? So previously means before. So the name of the Sea Life Centre now appears to be Sea Life Centre, but what was it called before that? 12. What is the newest attraction called? So an attraction is something that makes people want to go there. whether that's an exhibit or a ride. And newest there, so the one that is opened most recently. Then number 13, when is the main feeding time? Okay, so we're listening out for a time here. There could be other ones mentioned, but we need the main one. Number 14, what can you do with a VIP ticket? VIP is a very important person, so this is a special ticket that will cost more, but you can do something extra with it. 15, what special event will the Sea Life Centre arrange for you? So we're listening out for a type of event that you might want to have at the Sea Life Centre. 16, where will the petition for animal conservation be sent to? So there's that word petition that we learned, where everyone writes their name on something that you want to change or you want something you feel strongly about. And number 17, what can you use to test what you have learnt? Right, let's listen and write your answers.
Okay, so hi everybody and welcome to the Sea Life Centre. Before you start on your tour, I'd just like to give you some information about things to look out for as you go. Well, first of all, I guess some of you may have been here before and may be surprised to see the name has changed. We're not called World of Water anymore. Since the beginning of this summer, we've been renamed, and we've also made a few other changes. However, the main attractions like the aquarium, the crocodiles, the penguins and so on are still here. But we have a new restaurant and picnic area, and the latest thing that we have, and it was only finished last week, is the splash ride. This is an exciting new area of the centre and is pretty scary, and of course you do get a bit wet, so make sure you're not wearing your best clothes. As I said, the main attractions are still here, and the most popular thing that everyone wants to see is feeding time, especially for the crocodiles and the seals. We used to have the main feeding time in the afternoon at around 3 p.m, but we found that some of the animals got a bit hungry waiting until then, and so we now have it at noon. They seem much happier with the new time, although it's a bit difficult to know what they're thinking. Now, I'd like to mention something new that we've introduced this year that we're very excited about. It's called a VIP ticket. The VIP ticket costs an extra £2 per person, and you will be amazed at what it allows you to do. With this, you'll be allowed to feed the sharks. Now, I know that for some people, this might be quite a frightening thing to do, but it is perfectly safe. For those of you who are a bit unsure, we do have a video you can watch to see what happens. It's a great experience, and your friends will be very impressed. Speaking of friends, I'd just like to remind you that the Sea Life Centre will be more than happy to organise a birthday party for you and your family and friends. If you need more details, you can speak to me afterwards, and there are also forms at the entrance that you can fill in. I'd also like to bring your attention to the good work that the Sea Life Centre is doing in support of animal conservation. I'm sure you're all aware of the worrying situation with a large number of species facing extinction. Here at the Sea Life Centre, we're taking action by asking as many people as possible to sign a petition. Once we have over 5,000 signatures, we are planning to send it to the government in the hope that more people will begin to take it seriously. Right, well, there's obviously a lot going on at the centre, and a lot of things to discover. At all the attractions, there is helpful information, so please read as much as you can, and if you want to see what you've remembered, please do the quiz after your visit. There are no prizes, of course, but I'm sure you'll be surprised by how much you've learnt.
Right, let's have a look at what's happened there and see the answers. So the first one, what was it called before? Well, it says we are not called World of Water anymore. We've been renamed. Renamed means change the name. So that tells us that the name before Sea Life Centre was World of Water. That's the answer there to the first one. Next, we were looking for the newest ride. So it says new restaurant and picnic area. So they're quite new, but they're not the newest, because the latest thing we have, latest is another word for newest, only finished last week, is the Splash Ride. And then again it says a new area of the centre. So Splash Ride is the answer to that one, the latest attraction. Then what time is the main feeding time? So it says it used to be in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Used to in the past, not anymore. Now it's at noon. So the correct answer here is noon. Noon means midday or 12 o'clock. But remember, this is a listening test, so we need to write down what they said. So even if you write midday or 12 o'clock, technically that's the same as noon, but that's not what they said. So we need to put noon for this. Then we're on to the VIP ticket. So they mentioned VIP ticket. That should be your signpost that they're going to talk about that. So you'll be allowed to, or you're able to, you can feed the sharks. That's the 3 words we need here. Feed the sharks. On to the next part. What event will they organise? It's a birthday party. So if you want to have a birthday party, they can organise it for you. Next, we talked about the petition. So they said sign a petition. There are species facing extinction. Those are words that we learned in the vocabulary section. And it's going to the government. So we'll send the petition to the government. So if you wrote government or the government, both are okay. And finally, to see what you've learnt, they use the word remembered instead of learnt. Please do the quiz after you visit. Quiz, like a test, but just for fun. So here are the answers. World of Water, Splash Ride, noon, feed the sharks, birthday party, government or the government, and quiz. Right, on to questions 18 to 20. Okay, for this one we need to choose the correct letter. So A is aquarium, B crocodile cave, C penguin park, D seal centre, and E turtle town. These are all different areas of the Sea Life Centre. Now the guide is going to tell you about some things, and she's going to mention these places. Number 18, or question 18, which one does she say that you must not miss? Okay. And number 19, which one is temporarily closed? Temporarily means just for now. And number 20, which one has large queues? Notice that this type of question, they will use all of them at some point, but watch out for the wrong answers. Make sure you choose the correct ones. So for 18, 19 and 20, write the letter.
Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
So, before I leave you all to start your tour, I've just got a few tips. There are a large number of attractions, and you may not have time to see them all. Of course, there are the old favourites like the aquarium and the crocodile cave, but if you don't have time to see everything, make sure you visit Turtle Town, which is beyond the aquarium and the seal centre. This is very special and has a large number of endangered species, and as it's at the far corner of the Sea Life Centre, it often gets overlooked. I also have to apologise for the Penguin Park. This has needed some urgent work to be done, and so will not be open for the next week. We're very sorry about this, but I'm sure you'll find the Seal Centre, which is directly opposite it, will keep you entertained just as much, if not more. We're also very busy today, as you may have noticed on your way in. Everyone starts here at the aquarium, but as it's so big, there's no waiting to get in. But today, we're expecting a lot of people to want to see the crocodile cave, as a couple of eggs have hatched out. So expect delays there and, if you like, move on to the Seal Centre first and then go back when things are quieter towards the end of the day. So, I'll leave you now, but if you have any questions, I won't be far away, and have a great time at the Sea Life Centre.
Okay, so they mentioned each of the options, A, B, C, D, and E, several times. Let's see which one should be the correct one. Okay, so the first one said, must not miss. They'd already mentioned aquarium and crocodile cave, but these are wrong answers. Make sure you visit is a phrase which means the same as must not miss. And Turtle Town is the answer. So number 18 should be Turtle Town. Then which one is temporarily closed? We said Penguin Park will not be open for the next week. Okay, so Penguin Park is the part of the Sea Life Centre that is temporarily closed, not open. Closed for the next week temporarily. Okay. And number 20, we talked about queues. So queues, lots of people waiting to get in. But the aquarium, that's a wrong answer. There's no waiting to get in because it's so big. There are no queues there. But a lot of people want to see Crocodile Cave, and we said expect delays. So the correct answer is number 20, Crocodile Cave. Let's just recap that. So for must not miss, number 18 should be E, which was Turtle Town. Number 19, temporarily closed, you should have written C, Penguin Park. And for number 20, there will be large queues at B, Crocodile Cave. Right, that is all the listening we're going to do for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments below. Thank you very much for joining me for this listening practice, and I will see you again another time. Goodbye.